Good morning. I am currently making food to take to work with me. So I figured I would record this because I'm not very good at recording in the mornings when I'm actually doing something. I started recording this last night and I feel like it was so hodgepodge that like if I could say it now a little bit more clearly, I'll add it in today's. Also, side note, the spicy Sabra hummus is so good. So, I made a joke a couple of years ago on either my Instagram or my Snapchat saying that the ages of 22 to 26 are not heaven or hell, they're just purgatory. And I find it incredibly true. I'm gonna move you, I think. There we go. So yeah, the ages between 22 and 26 are just purgatory. You're not really making a lot of money, you're kind of like not in the career that you think you want to be in long term, or you are, but it's not what you think it's gonna be, and it's just a hodgepodge of like a really confusing time. And I was just talking to Tony about this not too long ago, that like the years right after college are so hard because you've spent the last like 15 years in school with a structure, and now all of a sudden you're given all of this free time to do whatever you want, but you don't have like hobbies developed. You don't have your own sense of like what a schedule looks like for you. You don't know how to fill your own time because you've had activities and class and homework and assignments to come home to. And there's a weird sense of like you come home, and because you don't have homework to accomplish, like if you don't do something when you're home, it feels like you're accomplishing nothing in your personal life. I don't know if that makes sense. Because like I'd come home and I'd be like, okay, I need to do this homework, study for this exam, get this done, and then I'd be like, all right, cool, I accomplished something today. But like now I come home and I'm like, well, I could play video games, and then it's like, oh, I didn't accomplish anything today. Which isn't true that I didn't accomplish anything, but it's like, did I accomplish something to move myself forward? Probably not. I also have this very strong belief that I don't think your career needs to be your dream job. And the reason being is like, generally, your job should be something you are good at. You should find a way to make money at something you are good at doing. That is kind of like the Venn diagram of what your career should be. Because I feel like if you're not good at it and having to struggle forever, you're probably never going to like keep excelling. So like that shouldn't be your career focus. It should be like, what am I good at? That is what my career should be. Now, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? And can I make money doing that? That is like a smaller Venn diagram. It's not necessarily a circle. And it's just like everything. Like, your partner should never fulfill all of your needs. Your hobbies should never fulfill all of your needs. Just like your career can't fill your financial needs and your happiness level and your fulfillment and make you feel like you're doing good in the world and also be your hobby. Like, it's just, I know, it's not reasonable. It's completely not reasonable. And I think that's where so many of us get caught up. And I feel like I know so many people who graduated from college and went out into their field and like, oh, this isn't what I thought this was going to be. Or I have people who are like, oh, this is what I thought it was going to be, but I'm actually not very good at it. And that makes it very hard. Rogue, I know, they don't know this though. I'm just trying to tell everybody. Truly, I either have friends who are just getting out of grad school, so they're 26, getting out of grad school, have never worked a career yet in their life, and they went to now 6 years of school, and maybe they don't end up liking what they're in. I have friends who went into their field and have jumped jobs 4 or 5 times. I have friends who have been in the same job since they graduated and are absolutely miserable and want to do a completely career change. It's, no one prepares you that when you go out into the world that it's probably not what you thought it's going to be. Also, it is completely okay to have a job right now and not a career. It's okay to have a job that shows that you are willing to stay at a place for a longer period of time, that you're willing to work up from the bottom, that you're willing to take on more responsibilities than you're initially given at an entry level position. It's okay to have a job. It doesn't have to be a career, but having a job with some longevity and those people being willing to vouch for you for a career is really important, I think. I have people who come work with me for a really long time, and if they applied to anything, I would vouch for them for whatever they needed or wanted, because I know what a hard worker they are, I know how they stick through things, and I know that they're willing to learn. And those are things that you can't necessarily teach someone. I can teach someone how to clean something, I can teach somebody how to do X, Y, and Z, but I can't teach somebody their work ethic. And that's what I think jobs do before you get into your career, is they show you're willing to do those other things and that you're teachable before you get into something that like maybe is your specialty in your field. I want you to know that I just talked for about 12 minutes and none of that recorded, so I'm going to basically summarize it, which you're in luck, because since I said it once I can say it faster. I have the craziest hair right now, but unfortunately everything I said ended up getting cut off. So I have to kind of summarize what I was saying before we get to the part that I come back, and then I have to come back after that and explain the part that got cut off again. So, one, I think that jobs are great and they lead to careers because they teach you a lot of skills that somebody in a career doesn't have time to teach you. I don't have time to teach you how to be a hard worker. I don't have time to teach you to show up on your own terms. I don't have time to teach you to have a bias of action, a bias towards action. I can't teach you to be willing to do those things. A job can have some time and some leeway to help build those skills. The next thing I go into saying is that that actually just completely got cut off, is that it is totally fine to be poor right now. I had no fucking money when I came out of college. I had no money for a solid year and a half probably, but I probably had just as much fun then as I do now. It obviously can be very stressful not having money. However, money comes with time, and it just takes a time for it to build up, and you have to be patient and also not blow all of your money all of the time. I look insane. I didn't buy clothes. I didn't go out to eat all of the time. I just didn't do a lot of things, and I was fine with that because I was constantly working. I also had a lot of friends that were still in school at that time, so a lot of stuff we did was very low cost or free. And I had no money. Then I had money for about 8 months. And it literally was peak pandemic time because I had finally saved money. I had been home not spending any money for a couple of months, then went back out into the world. And then I quit my job and was literally unemployed for 2.5 months and pretty much had no money again because I moved. And now we're back to being okay. Am I where I was when I had saved a shit ton of money? No, but I will get back there. And I have no, besides paying my bills, I am not responsible to giving money to anyone else currently. So it's fine to not have a lot of money. That's not a big deal at all. So don't stress about that. It's more so about building things up for down the road. Yes, I want to save money right now so that eventually I can have a bunch of money. However, building all of those skills in the time that I have now is more important. Because in 10 years from now, I don't want to be still doing jobs at this level because I never built up skills when I had the time to be making no money. You know, if that makes sense. I would like to say if I lived in Ohio right now, I would be rich. I would be rich because my bills would just be less. The thing that I am about to go into that we're going to come back into is that I have this mentality that I can't lose. And it's not that I can't fail, but that I can't lose. And the bar to entry is so high and so low that I simply cannot lose. The bar to entry every day is that I got up and I showed up. If the bar to entry is just today I just have to get up, you didn't lose. You showed up. You didn't lose. And my super high one is that I am going to be a millionaire that is the CEO of a company. And you know what? If every year I don't become a millionaire to a CEO of a company, I'm just, in my mind, I go, it's fine. This is my building year. This is my year that we're getting closer to being that. And it literally is like, I set a bar so fucking high that it's something that will constantly drive me forward. I'm always just like, no, I can do more. I can take on more responsibility. I can make more money. And it just constantly drives me forward. And then the bar to like my everyday living is like, oh, I got up today. I didn't lose. I simply cannot lose. That doesn't mean I can't fail. That doesn't mean I'm not bad at things. That doesn't mean that like that I don't struggle with things. It just means I didn't lose. I cannot lose. There is no losing because I got up and I showed up. And that's what I'm about to say. And I'll see you in a second. And if that end goal is still out there and I just don't have it yet, that doesn't mean that I've won or lost. That just means I haven't got there yet. So, in my mind, I can't lose. Even if I got to the dream job interview and they picked somebody else, that just means next time it can be mine. You know? I just kind of have set up a mentality in my mind that it's just like not possible for me to lose. And that's because I will just be the best and keep being the best and keep pushing. And it's such an egotistical way to think of things. But that makes me want to make other people better, because that makes me be like, I want my team to help me win. I want my team to help this business win. I want my team to be the best, which in turn helps my employer. You can't lose. There's this thing I was about to get into that I totally got cut off. Is I was at a conference a couple of years ago now at this point, and Jesse Itzler was telling a story about how he was doing a last man standing race, and it basically is just run until you can't run anymore. And so people are doing like tens of miles and some over 100, and he's running with this coach who's like renowned for like helping people push like endurance athletes essentially, right? And so Jesse is like, can't remember where they were distance wise, but it's starting to break down, like mentally, physically, it's starting to really feel it. And his coach looks at him and goes, Jesse, I have to tell you something crazy. And he says, I don't get tired. No matter what, I don't get tired. Mentally, not tired. Physically, great. I feel amazing right now. And he's like, Jesse, I need you to say that you don't get tired. And he's like, he even says, he's like, I couldn't say it out loud because I was like breaking down. And he's like, you have to say it out loud. And he says, I don't get tired. It's insane. Like, I don't get tired. He's like, we're going to go over there and we're going to tell them about our miracle that we just don't get tired. They go, they say it out loud to other people. And then he's like, all right, let's keep going. And they run like another like 20 miles or something like obscene, right? But there's something about that mentality. It's not the concept of like, I'm going to keep driving until I can't go anymore and I hit a wall and I'm just so exhausted that I break down. It's that there are moments when I think about that phrase so often, and I think about it in two ways. One, like, especially like fitness is such a large part of my life, where you mentally and physically do have more to give, but you have put up a block in your mind that this is just too much for you, that you do not deserve to hit this goal, that you physically can't do it, that you for some reason have put a blockade in your own way saying this is not for you. But you can, because you don't get tired. And then there's the other aspect of, I'm not going to lie, usually every once in a while I hit a wall and I just have a complete meltdown. And to be completely honest, it can be any given day and it can be about the smallest thing. Like today, everything could burn down and it completely not faze me, but tomorrow I could walk out and my car tire is flat and I could have a complete meltdown. It just has to hit right on the right day. So it's normal. We all have those days and we all feel it completely. But I think for me personally, what kept driving me when I was making no money, was at an entry-level position with a full fucking college degree, was that like I saw something that I wanted. And then I saw something beyond that I wanted. and I saw something beyond that I wanted. And I was like, oh, there's like 4 fucking doors before I end up at the end goal, right? I set this bar really high, and I was like, I know there's like 6 rooms I gotta get through before I get there. And it was just like, I'm making no money. I'm working the worst hours. I work the most. I'm not getting a raise anytime soon, but I don't get tired because I want to be here and I want to show up because I know that through like 8 doors is something that I could want one day. And so I don't get tired. I just show up, put a smile on my face, let customers yell at me, and keep going. But it's so much that we control. We control our mindset, we control our physical being, we control our emotional and mental being, because what we are seeing, what we are saying, and what we are doing affects the way that things affect us emotionally. And yes, obviously, I forget that every once in a while because I will have a fucking mental breakdown about something. But 95% of the time, I don't get tired. I don't get enough sleep, but I don't get tired. I still show up every day. We're still here doing the damn thing. So you can't lose and you don't get tired. I don't know why. It's such like a competitive nature in me that those two things work, but I can't lose and I don't get tired. And they go and they go and they go and they go and they go, and that just happens to work for me. Hello. I felt weird just ending on that. I just was gonna wrap this up. Went to work I always do. That was basically it, but I'm going to be completely honest. I really don't know what happened to this footage. Half of it's missing. This audio just completely drops off at this point. Have no idea what I ended up saying. I made a grilled cheese, came home from work, and said I felt like it was weird that I didn't wrap up this stuff. Oh, I did mention that, like, tomorrow I'm going to be recording the podcast, and this weekend we have fun things to do, so you get to see me with other people and do other fun things instead of me just being by myself. But that's all I have for today. Jesus Christ, hopefully tomorrow is better.